Hello everyone, Creative Venus here, and look at this beautiful SWOT analysis animation, or you can say template, and it's really new. You won't find it anywhere else. This is a totally new concept. I hope you will like it. So let's begin with the tutorial. As usual, we will start with designing the background, and here we will fill a beautiful gradient background. And you already know how to fill a gradient in PowerPoint, and we will use two stops gradient here, and let's use blue as usual, our technology color. So we have used two gradient stops here. On one gradient stop we have used a bright blue color. On the second we have used much brighter blue color. For me, all blue looks the same. Now insert this line here, and again fill a gradient line color and use the same gradient color that we have filled in the background, but make the gradient type as a path gradient. Now rotate it by -30 degrees, increase its width and place it somewhere here and duplicate it, and place both these lines close to each other, then again duplicate and place the second group of lines here. Increase their width so that the line should be from one corner to the other corner. So here you can see we have presented the lines on this beautiful gradient background, and this is basically a path that we have created, and on this path or track our alphabets SWOT will slide in from the top right to the bottom left. Now insert this rectangular bar here and again fill the same gradient color, but change the, or you can say switch the gradient stops and reduce the height here and change the 3D rotation to the isometric form, and you can adjust the height and width, and you can also change the direction if you want. You have to try it, whatever looks good here. So we have used linear gradient on this, and let's place it here. So you have to always experiment with the color fills and the placement and the size. Now insert the text box here and let's write the alphabet S for strength, and we will use the agency FB font here because it is a condensed font and it looks good, and increase the font size. Go to text effects. Now again fill the same gradient color and you can select the radial gradient type here. Now we have to play with this alphabet and make it look more 3D, more vibrant and beautiful. So I've added one more gradient stop in the background. On the top left I've added a dark blue color as well, so that this alphabet S will look much brighter on a dark background there. Now change its rotation to isometric form, and you can further increase the font size if you want, slightly increase the depth, and you have to go under the text options for the depth, not under the shape options, because we are customizing the text here. And then you can adjust the material and the lighting angle. Make sure light source is common for every object, so you have to take care of that. And I have changed the light angle in a way that it looks very bright. And now you can place this alphabet here, duplicate it, and fill the solid color here. And we have to fill some dark color here, so you can try either black or dark blue, whatever you feel fits here you can try, but make sure it's dark and it matches the overall color scheme. And remove its depth. We don't need the depth now because we are creating the shadow, or you can say reflection, of the alphabet. And now again duplicate, so we will duplicate it like multiple times, like 2 or 3 times. You can even try 4 times. I'm trying and experimenting with the white color here. Let's see if it looks fine, but I think dark will look much better, but less darker as compared to the top layer. So we are using the transparency effect to reduce its dark, the color effect, so that it easily blends with the background and we can easily select and see each alphabet clearly. Now bring this main text to the front so that it sits above these 3 reflection layers of the same alphabet. So now we have these 4 alphabets here in a row, stacked together in the isometric form. Make sure all are well aligned, so select all of these, group them together. Now go to selection pane here, and you can see all these are grouped together. And when you will create the same slide for weakness, opportunities, and a threat, then you can change these alphabets accordingly by using this selection pane here. Otherwise it will be difficult for you to select each alphabet directly with the help of the mouse. Now insert this rounded rectangle, fill the same gradient color that you have filled in the background, but the gradient type should be round or radial. Now change its rotation and remove its outline if there is any. Now send it to back. This will be like a placeholder for our alphabets, so we have sent it to back. Now it is the most bottom layer, and reduce its roundedness by dragging this yellow point at the top. And you can adjust the gradient fill here. I want to keep the bright color at the top and dark blue towards the bottom, like this. So this looks really futuristic and very unique kind of design, and you have to place it with the help of a mouse, or you can use the selection pane if you are not able to select it. If you ever find it difficult to select any item, because we are managing so many layers of items here, you can always go to the selection pane at the top under shape format option next to rotate. There you can select any layer you want, just like Adobe Photoshop. So now we have placed all the items here. Now select the rounded rectangle, slightly increase its width, and you can see here we have used selection pane to select this rounded rectangle. Otherwise it becomes difficult to select it, because you will try to select it but you will end up selecting the alphabet or some other component, because there are so many layers stacked together. Again duplicate this rounded rectangle and place it at the bottom, and you can give it a white fill with or dark fill and increase its transparency. So I'm just trying to see if it looks good. Again, I've selected the selection pane here. So selection pane is very useful in these kind of slides. I'm still thinking if it looks fine or we have to adjust it further. So I accidentally moved the background here. I am readjusting it. Now select the text box here. I think this looks fine, and here comes the main text, like what are your strengths that you want to write here. So you can mention the text in the bullet form or in the form of a paragraph. It depends upon the content you want to showcase. So I'm using Monster font here, and I've slightly increased the character width here. And you have to change the 3D rotation here and place the text here. Now we will play with this text and make it look more beautiful in terms of the environment. It should match with the environment. It doesn't look like we have placed something here, and if it doesn't match with this overall scene, then it will not look good. So we have changed its color matching the background, and we have to slightly adjust it to maintain its visibility as well. So you can try things like reflection effect. It looks good. You can play with the blurriness here. You can increase the blur and the size, things like that. So I've slightly increased the font. I think it looks good here only. Again, go to the text options. So blurriness of 7 points looks fine. And we can also try glow effect here, but it should be very minimal, otherwise it will look more cartoonish. So we have to keep it minimal, like 4 points, 3 points. Increase the transparency, and you can see now it looks much better, and it matches with the background. It blends very well with the overall environment. It looks like a part of this environment. So yeah, you can see the overall this image, or you can say this slide or the design is looking really beautiful. Now we have to create some pattern for the background, because this is a very futuristic kind of slide that we have created, a very unique design. So we have to be more innovative in terms of everything that we are creating. So let's create a beautiful pattern rather than using some default pattern or downloading it from online sources. Let's create our own pattern, and you will learn a new thing here in the PowerPoint which nobody has told you yet, or if you know that, that's great, but I'm telling you this new thing. Insert a rounded rectangle. So you can create any pattern you want. So let's focus on this one right now. You have inserted this rounded rectangle, and the outline is of gradient type matching the background color. Now insert one line on the left with the same gradient fill, and you can use the format painter option to reuse the work that we have done to save our time and effort. And duplicate the line and place on the right. Now you have to do some alignment. It's very easy. Rounded rectangle in the center, 2 lines on the right, and the gradient fill on all these 3 shapes should be the same. But on the lines you have to fill path gradient type, and Make sure all these three items are well aligned with each other horizontally and the lines are middle aligned. So first select the lines, align middle, then select all these three items, distribute horizontally, then group the lines and select this rectangle and align to the middle. Then you will get a perfect aligned combination of these three items. Now slightly increase the transparency of this rounded rectangle and you have got this first component of your pattern. Now we will repeat it. Place it next to the first one. Again duplicate. First reduce the size so that you have ample space here to play with the shapes here. Duplicate. And you know the steps. Keep on duplicating. You have to press Ctrl C, Ctrl V. And you can duplicate horizontally and then vertically. First align middle, then distribute horizontally. Press Ctrl G if you want to group, and then place the stack below it, and you can see how I'm doing here, and you just have to follow the same. Again duplicate and place it above the grouped shapes, and you can see a pattern here. And similarly you can create any kind of pattern you want with the shapes. You just have to repeat the items. So alignment is very important here. Make sure everything is well aligned, so you have to just take care of that. In PowerPoint, alignment is important. If everything is well aligned, half the job is done and everything will look arranged and in order. Now our pattern is ready. Switch to isometric view of it, and you have to send it to back here. First make sure it is placed well and then send to back. I think we can repeat it multiple times. It will look much better here. So I'm just kind of thinking how we can do that. And yes, in the meantime you can hit the subscribe button. If you haven't done that, please do that. It's very important for us. It's really helpful and it will motivate us. You can also join the membership to support us. Of course, it's a very small minimal fee there, but you can press the join button. So as I said, we can place it multiple times. Send to back. Again duplicate. Ctrl C, Ctrl V. And we can place one here or at the bottom. Let's see. And you can always review your design in the slideshow mode, so you can get a better perspective and view. Again duplicate and let's place one copy here. So we have covered this whole section here. And as I've said earlier, if you find it difficult to select any item, always follow the selection pane here. And you can name each item as well if you want. That will help you. I always follow the selection pane so I know which item is where, but if you find it confusing as there are so many small components, then you can always name these components. Yeah, it will be time taking, but it will be easier to find the objects. So I am collapsing these grouped items. So these are 4 grouped items. So by grouped items I mean the patterns that we have designed. So we have designed these 4 patterns here. So we can group these. So these are our 4 grouped items at the bottom. So you can select these 4 items and you can further group these items. So now the group number 609 is your pattern. Now insert a shape here. Remove the outline and fill the same gradient fill that we have filled in the background, but radial in nature. I mean the gradient type should be radial, and let's make it a layer and spread it edge to edge, and we have to send it to back above the background. So this will be the bottommost layer above the patterns, and you can slightly increase the transparency of the gradient fills so that the background pattern is slightly visible. Now let's write the text. As I mentioned earlier, it can be in the form of bullet points or in the form of paragraphs or some small keywords. So it could be in any form depending upon the content you are typing. So you can place the text here. So text is also important. If you don't give enough, if you don't spend enough time on text styling as well, so that will not justify your efforts, because in the end you have to present the text only in a beautiful manner. So now insert this triangle shape here and place it at the bottom right. It should be aligned with the bottom right. So the slide has become a bit heavy. It's taking time because there are so many layers here. So here we have to adjust the gradient. So I've removed the last gradient stop. I think 2 gradient stops are enough, and send it to back. Increase the transparency to 100% on the first gradient stop. So you can adjust the text here. Now you can insert this small rounded rectangle, and we will fill here the gradient color from the background again. So we have used the same gradient fill on all these objects. So that's the beauty of this slide. So remove the first gradient stop. So now it's looking beautiful, and we have to do a couple of more things here, and then comes the animation. Now insert the text here. What should we write here? Let's write SWOT analysis, and this is the main title of the slide, and change the font to Monster. This is the font that I use mostly in my presentations. I find it very balanced. It looks good everywhere. So I have increased the character spacing, change the color to white, slightly increase the transparency so that it blends with the background. In Photoshop and other tools you find the option of blending, but in PowerPoint you can always use the transparency. So now you can see how your slide looks, but it needs some vibrance. We will come to that, but let's first write the brand name as well. So for now we are writing creative winners, and you have to subscribe to our channel, join the membership, hit like, and you can always share the videos on your platform, blogging sites if you like, and change it to isometric form. Let's change the character spacing to 10, and we can keep it here. Overall the slide looks fine if you see, but you can also see here that some vibrance is missing. Something is missing here in terms of color, and we have to do something to make it more vibrant. Now let's add some patterns for the background behind the text, and these will move in the background when we will navigate to the next slides for weakness, opportunities, and strength and threats. So such kind of small animations look good in the background behind the text, and the movement will be very subtle, so that gives a very pleasant experience to the user who is reading the text and watching this presentation. So we have placed these two hollow circles, and we will move these in every slide, and then we will change the transition to morph. So morph will play its part. We just have to place these circles. Now go to the selection pane, and we need to select this triangle. So I'm not able to find where is this background triangle behind this text. Yeah, sometimes it happens. Yep, this is the triangle. So let's select this triangle and select the first gradient stop and change its color to this vibrant blue, and move the second slider to 78%. So this is what I was talking about, that some vibrance is missing and we need to do something about it. And now it is looking much better and more beautiful. Now we have to slightly adjust the color of this hollow circle as well. We have to make it look less transparent, and we have to give the same treatment to the second circle a bit if you want. For now it looks fine. Now duplicate the slide here, and you just have to change three things: text, text, and text. Text of this main alphabet, you have to select the topmost alphabet, go to selection pane, and you can find these 4 layers. You have to select each one of these, right click, edit text, and change to W. Then select the second layer, which is the reflection layer. Again right click, edit text, and change the alphabet. You have to repeat the steps for all these 4 alphabets here. So now you can see this is very time saving, that we just have to reuse the slides. So our second slide is also done, and you can change this dummy text as well. Now duplicate the slide for the opportunities, but you know how to do it. So let's first focus on the animation part, because the video is already very long. So for that you have to copy the W and the text from the second slide and place it on the first slide, I mean the strength slide, and place it outside of the screen area, because we will use morph transition. and similarly copy the complete all 4 layers of alphabet of S and strength and paste it on the weakness slide outside of the slide area on the 4th slide. So on the 3rd slide and on the 4th slide apply Morph Transition and then watch it on the slideshow mode, and you can see the animation, it's working fine, and you can use the arrow keys left and right to check, and you can see how these are sliding on the track that we have created. And you can slightly move the text away from the alphabet layers, and this gives the animation more dynamic look and feel, and you can see the weakness text is coming a bit late, so that makes it more beautiful. So you can give the same treatment to all the 4 slides, and let's see how the final output looks. Here comes the first slide, then comes the second, then comes the opportunity, and here comes the thread slide. So I hope you will like it. So please subscribe to our channel, join the membership, hit like and share, and do not forget to subscribe. We want to reach 200,000 subscribers very soon. We need your support. So we will see you guys in our next video. So do not forget to download this beautiful template from the G Drive link provided in the video description.